A comfortable chair is a must for anyone who works from home or spends a lot of time at their desk like I do. I work from home and I also spend hours at my desk editing videos every week. I've used several ergonomic chairs, but none of them quite like this one, the Autonomous ErgoChair Ultra 2. It's a premium ergonomic chair that balances simplicity and support. Let's take a closer look and see if it's a good option for your sitting needs. Before we dive in, I want to mention that Autonomous sent me the ErgoChair Ultra 2 for the purpose of reviewing it. I was not paid to make this video, and all opinions shared will be my own. I do have an affiliate link in the description for you if you're interested in picking up the ErgoChair Ultra 2 and you'd like to support this channel. If you've never heard of Autonomous, they created their first desk in 2015 and their first ergonomic chair in 2016. And since then, they've scaled up and now have warehouses on both coasts in the United States, and they've been expanding internationally since around 2019. They've become known for using 3D printed parts in their products, which allows them to use some unique designs that would be otherwise somewhat difficult to manufacture. And that includes the spring matrix in the seat of the ErgoChair Ultra 2. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I work from home, and my most recent chair for the last couple of years has been the WorkPro 1000 mesh chair. In the past, I have used some higher-end options, including the Steelcase Leap and the Herman Miller Aeron, and more recently, I also tested the FlexiSpot C7. The ErgoChair Ultra 2 has some similarities from each of those, but also a few things that definitely make it unique. Let's start by walking through the assembly of the ErgoChair Ultra 2, and then we will talk through the different features and the pros and cons that I observed while testing it out for the last week. Assembling the ErgoChair Ultra 2 is fairly simple and no worse than any other chair I've had in the past. It comes with the seat, back, and base in separate pieces, and the back attaches to the seat with 4 hex bolts and 4 screws. Everything else is just as simple as placing the chair onto the pneumatic cylinder and attaching the wheels to the base. Assembly only took me a total of about 15 minutes. The ErgoChair Ultra 2 includes a hybrid mesh seat comprised of a mesh top, memory foam cushion, and a spring matrix. The adaptive backrest has a flexible support structure. There's also an optional headrest, which will add to the price. Adjustments include the seat depth, the recline tension, seat height, and multiple armrest positions. There's no dedicated adjustable lumbar support, but the backrest does provide lumbar support in a fixed area. The armrests have adjustable height ranging from 7 inches to 11 inches measured from the base of the arms, and the top can be angled, moved forwards and backwards, and left to right. The tension setting for reclining is adjusted with a rotary handle on the right side of the seat, and the recline angle is up to 25 degrees, and the armrests do move backwards with the back of the seat. The maximum weight capacity is 320 pounds, and there is one size with seat height ranging from 18 inches to 23 inches. The seat dimensions are 18 inches by 18 inches, and the backrest dimensions are 20 inches wide by 23 inches high without the headrest. As far as compatibility with different heights, Autonomous recommends the ErgoChair Ultra 2 for people ranging from 5 feet to 6 feet 4 inches. I'm personally 5 feet 6 inches, so I can't comment on the comfort for taller individuals. The seat cushion has an even feel until you get to about the last 2 inches on the left and right edges where it becomes more firm. The warranty for the ErgoChair Ultra 2 is 2 years. The regular price of the ErgoChair Ultra 2 is $599 US or $699 US with the headrest. All right, now let's talk about my experience with the ErgoChair Ultra 2. We'll talk about some pros and cons that I've observed, as well as how it compares to some of the other chairs that I have used in the past. Now, as I mentioned, I've been using the WorkPro 1000 for the last couple of years, mostly because it's a mesh chair and it's smaller in size, which has been good for my relatively small work-from-home space. The price of the WorkPro 1000 is anywhere from $180 to $270, depending on where you look, so it is on the more affordable end. But as I mentioned, I have also used some of these super premium options from Steelcase and Herman Miller, which are quite a bit more expensive than the ErgoChair Ultra 2, so this is in that sort of middle premium space as far as ergonomic chairs go with the price range that it's in. It competes around the same price range as the FlexiSpot C7, which I tested out last year. All right, starting with some pros for the ErgoChair Ultra 2, I actually like the seat more than I expected to. I tend to get warm, so I like a well-ventilated mesh seat, and the hybrid seat of the ErgoChair Ultra 2 at first had me thinking it wasn't going to keep me as cool as the pure mesh seats of the other chairs I've used in the past. However, I am happy to say that I didn't experience any issues with the seat being too warm over the last week of using it, and I've been sitting in it quite a bit. The seat does have some foam in addition to the mesh, but it was breathable enough for me and much more breathable than solid foam seats that I have used in the past. Now, staying on the seat, this is a little bit subjective, but I also found it to be a good balance of support and softness. It's not the squishiest seat ever, but I did not find it to be too firm. The texture of the mesh top is also quite nice. It feels more premium, softer than what I recall from the FlexiSpot C7 and also my Work Pro chair. Now, another pro for me is the back support. There is no separately adjustable lumbar support, so it doesn't feel intrusive, it just feels supportive. The unique material of the backrest is flexible and it kind of molds itself to you, which makes it feel different from other chairs that I've used. And some of them, especially the ones with the separate section for the lumbar support, really kind of push back against you and make it feel like you're sort of fighting against it all day, or at least it can feel like that. So I appreciated the amount of support that's here without feeling super intrusive. Now, whether you personally like the feel of a seat and the back support is personal, but I would say if you don't like the kind of dedicated lumbar support, like I mentioned, that kind of pushes back to you, then this would be a potentially good option. Another pro is the aluminum base. The chair feels a bit more sturdy on its feet, so to speak, than chairs I've used that have a plastic base. Now, the height adjustments on the armrests are also nice, and there's a lot of stopping points ranging from that 7 inches to 11 inches from the bottom of the arms. I think that height adjustment range is good. The lowest option is quite low. And as I mentioned, there's a lot of stopping points along the way. It doesn't kind of lock you into just, big gaps in between the adjustments, which is a problem I've had with some chairs in the past where I want it somewhere in between. These are nice small increments that you can adjust. And lastly, while the ErgoChair Ultra 2 doesn't have as many ergonomic adjustments as some other options like the FlexiSpot C7, the important controls are there and they are simple to use. I didn't find myself fiddling around with anything except for the armrest angles. More on that in just a moment. Before we talk about cons or downsides, let's talk about a few things, or just a couple things that fall into what I call the neutral category. These are things that you might consider a pro or a con depending on your point of view and what your priorities are. First, as I already mentioned, there is no separate or dedicated lumbar support adjustment. That doesn't mean the ErgoChair Ultra 2 doesn't provide lumbar support. It just means you can't independently adjust it from other settings in granular detail. So if that's important to you, this may not be the best option. And let's stay on the adjustments for just a second. In general, the ErgoChair Ultra 2 doesn't have as many adjustment points as some other ergonomic chairs. However, I'm putting this in the neutral category rather than the cons, because to me, the only thing that's missing that I wouldn't mind having is the ability to tilt the seat angle forward and backwards when you're in a normal seated position. You can still adjust the seat depth and the tension for leaning back, which are the most important besides the armrest height and the seat height. So I don't really see any missing adjustment points here that are like deal breakers, and that's why I'm saying it's kind of neutral, that some other chairs in the price range will have additional adjustment points. Now, another item in the neutral category has to do with the armrest padding. These are on the firmer side, more firm than the other chairs that I've used over the last few years. I would say that my Work Pro chair definitely has a little bit softer cushioning in the armrests. If you have any issues with elbow pain, like you get severe elbow pain from leaning on hard surfaces, these might be a little bit stiff for you. But if you don't mind firmer armrests, then that won't be a problem. And it's not like they're rock hard, they just don't have as much give as some other chairs that I've used. Now, the last thing I want to mention in the neutral category is the warranty. For chairs in this price range, it's pretty average. The warranty is 2 years, and for comparison, the FlexiSpot C7 offers a varied warranty. It's 2 to 3 years on the highest wearing parts, and then up to 10 years on the lowest wearing parts. Now, these super premium chairs from brands like Steelcase and Herman Miller offer 12-year warranties, which is a good thing considering how much you pay for them. So I don't consider 2 years in this sort of premium tier price range to be really subpar or anything, but it's also not best in class, and that's why I'm saying it's in the neutral category. All right, let's talk about a couple of cons I experienced for the ErgoChair Ultra 2. For the first one, let's get back to what I alluded to earlier about the armrest adjustments. But to be fair, this is a con that I've experienced with several chairs, almost every office chair I've ever used, honestly. So it's really just that the ErgoChair Ultra 2 didn't solve this issue, and it's that the armrests, they are adjustable in a few different directions. You can move them forwards, backwards, side to side, and then turn the angle in and out. All of those are good adjustment points to have. The issue is it's a little bit too easy to make all of those adjustments. I wouldn't say that they're loose. They don't feel they're a defect or anything, but they are kind of easy to accidentally move when you're not trying to move them. If you ever move your chair around by grabbing the armrest, it's gonna move with whatever you're doing. Now the next con that I have is that the wheels that are included with the ErgoChair Ultra 2, they're pretty average. I could understand if smoother rubber wheels are not included by default necessarily, but it would be great if they gave you the option just to get smoother rubber wheels rather than having to buy them separately. They do offer a set of rollerblade style rubber wheels from Office Oasis. I actually happen to have a set of the exact same ones because I had bought them in the past for my other chairs. I can tell you they are well worth it if you have a hard surface or even a thin carpet because they roll easier, they are much quieter, and just overall, I mean, they're better. All right, now let's consider the ErgoChair Ultra 2 overall. Compared to the other options I've discussed, we have a similar feature set minus a couple of adjustment points, a high quality mesh surface material, nice adjustability of the armrests, and very good overall quality, all while being about half the price of the super premium chairs. If you're looking for a comfortable and breathable chair that doesn't have an overcomplicated number of adjustments, and you're okay with armrests that are a little on the firmer side, then I would recommend considering the ErgoChair Ultra 2 because I've been happy with it for the last week that I've been using it overall. All right, so that'll do it for this video. Let me know if you have any questions about the ErgoChair Ultra 2 down in the comments. If you're interested in picking up, don't forget I have a link in the description for you. Don't forget to subscribe to the Semi-Pro Tech and Gear channel, and while you're here, check out one of these videos. I know you'll enjoy it. Thanks everybody. See you next time.